Hello everybody and welcome back to Resident Evil HD. In the last video, we left the mansion for our very first time and we came out into the courtyard area and managed to find our way to this small shack before ending things off. We picked up the crank, which is a key item that we're going to be needing to advance on forward, so I've gone ahead and left that in my inventory for the time being. I've also picked up a weapon and an herb because I'm going to be probably needing both of those things in the upcoming couple of sections. And I've put the wind crest into my inventory because there was a puzzle that I failed to solve on our way here. So we're going to solve that on our way back. Ooh, Jill. That looked like it hurt a lot. But fortunately, Jill's okay. She's coming to. And lucky that she did. Because I don't want to be trapped in here with whatever the hell that thing is. Especially because it's completely invulnerable to any weapons that we have. If we remember, on the radio transmission, Barry talked about seeing that creature outside of the mansion in the wooded area that we're at now. And he tried shooting it and nothing. Guns are completely ineffective against it and she's pretty much invulnerable. So your best bet is to get the hell out of there as fast as you can and to avoid damage if possible. That whole sequence is scripted, so you can't avoid getting knocked out. But you can avoid wasting bullets and health, hopefully. Because she hits really hard if she hits you. But now that we're out, we're safe. Although in this sequence, I always get attacked by crows. The crows just seem out to get me for whatever reason. See? I knew it! I knew that was gonna happen. It happens every time. Poor Jill just cannot catch a break. Luckily, I brought those herbs. Okay, so here we go. This is where we need the wind crest. If you come into the graveyard, you can use the wind crest on the right grave, which is going to reveal an additional 3 crests to us. So hopefully you have the inventory space for this. We can pick up the moon crest, the star crest, and the sun crest. Once you have those crests in your inventory, go ahead, examine them, turn them around, and press the button on the back of each crest to make the indentation protrude out. Once we've done that to each of the 3 crests, we can put them into the lefternmost grave and solve the puzzle. So there we are. Let's place those into this grave. You can see that each one will go in the spot where the shape is present. And once we've done that, we will be awarded with a super sweet new gun. We get a Magnum revolver, just like Barry. So that is wonderful. The Magnum pretty much makes the handgun completely obsolete. The handgun, of course, has more bullets, but with all of the arsenal we have now, the Magnum, the shotgun, and the grenade launcher, there are plenty of choices that go above and beyond the handgun. I don't really use the Magnum much. I'm much more of a shotgun grenade launcher type person. And we don't really have much ammo for it at the moment, so that's probably going to be living in my item box for quite a period of time. Now that we're back in this area, we're going to go through the double doors.
This is Brad. If you can hear me, just give me a sign. Anything.
Jill to Brad. Can you hear me? Shit. It's broken.
And there are some dogs in this area, which is why I have my shotgun out. Now I, pretty much every single time, without fail, get mauled by these dogs. I just really don't like dogs, and I don't seem to have a lot of luck with them. Plus, they are a complete bullet sponge. I usually end up wasting way more shotgun shells on dogs than I would like, but they're so incredibly fast that not taking care of them, I feel, is more of a burden than actually going ahead and taking care of them. We are also going to be going through that little area a couple of different times, so I just went ahead and took care of them because they're not going to respawn after they're dead. So this is where we're going to be using our crank. There is a square-shaped hole for our square-shaped crank. You can hear the sound of a waterfall in the distance. Once we've done that, the water level will lower and we can advance on, as you could see through our beautifully pre-rendered non-HD cutscene. The game looks tremendous in terms of it being an HD remake, but there are a couple of cutscenes from an older version of the game that look a little bit grainy and dated, but I give it a pass because everything else in this game looks really good, and the cutscenes are really far and in between. We're going to take the elevator, and there's a planter here with some blue herbs if you need them. You probably won't need them at this point. We're going to avoid those asshole crows and go through this gate. Pick up the red herb if you have the inventory space, and ooh, at this point we have a green, a red, and a blue, which is good news. That means that we can combine them to make one super herb. Go through this maze-like area. Avoid the snakes if you can, because if you get bitten, there is a chance that you will get poisoned and you'll have to use one of your blue herbs. And with that, we are now in an entirely new area. This is the residence. And I would have to say that this is probably my favorite area in the game. I'm not really sure why. We're not going to be here for very long, but I just think it's really diverse for the short amount of time that you spend here. I quite enjoy it anyways. The first door on the right is going to be our safe room, and there's also going to be a couple of really nice goodies that are here for us. We have a first aid spray, we've got an ink ribbon, and we have a battery pack for our stun gun. There's also a typewriter, our wonderful item box, and a gas canister that we can use to fill up our canteen if we wish. Gonna do a little bit of inventory management here. We're gonna put away these herbs and our first aid spray. Now with the blue herbs, we now have the ability to heal any of our poison that comes up if we do get poisoned. So now we don't have to go back and get serum from that room in the mansion. We can just use a blue herb. Which is great, because we are far from that room, and if we were to get poisoned, we would really be screwed. I'm gonna go ahead and refuel up on kerosene. I don't think we're really gonna be needing the fuel canteen at any time soon though, so I'm gonna go ahead and deposit it, and I'm going to exchange it for my lighter because we are gonna be needing the lighter very shortly. I've put away my magnum, and I'm also going to be putting away the crank because we're not going to be needing that anytime soon. I'll pick up my ink ribbons. I'm not going to make a save at this point in time either, so I'll put those away as well. And with my shotgun and my lighter, I'm going to go ahead and leave. And we'll make a bit of headway on our first puzzle before ending things off. Now, this puzzle is 100% completely optional. This can be skipped as Jill if you so choose. And you don't have to do it, and you shouldn't do it as Chris, because this actually won't do you any good if you're playing as Chris. I'm definitely going to be doing this as Jill though, because it's sort of a unique puzzle and it's very, very useful. In this area, you'll see a couple of different oil lamps that are not lit, and this is what we need the lighter for. You can light up the oil lamps and you'll be able to see a silhouette of an eyeball. Now, with each eyeball, there is going to be a number of eyelashes on each of the eyes that you're going to need to count. Obviously, we don't see one on this, but we are going to be seeing it on the other 2 oil lamps that we come across. So for this puzzle, what you need to remember is the color of the lamp and the number of eyelashes that go along with it. So red would be 0. And there are 2 other ones that we're going to come across. If we go downstairs, we have a couple of goodies. We've got some shotgun shells. We have a first aid kit and a red book, which is a key item that we're going to be using later. The green lantern on the table has 4 eyelashes. And then finally, once we've collected all that stuff, we can go upstairs to the top level, light up our orange oil lamp, and see that this one has 2 eyelashes. Now, once you've written down which eyelashes go with each color, you can come over to the pool table and take a look at the pool balls, and each pool ball will have a color and a number. So you also need to write down the numbers that are on the red, green, and orange pool balls as well. It doesn't seem important now, but like I said, we are going to be using that for a puzzle. And normally you wouldn't really need to write anything down because most of the puzzles in this game are all predetermined. And they're the same in every single game file, but that's actually the opposite for that puzzle. I'm not sure if it's random in each file or if it's randomized by what difficulty you're playing on, but I can tell you that it has been different for me a couple of different times that I've played, so we've completely cleared out that room. We don't have to go back there if we don't want to, assuming you have all the items, of course. And now I'm just going to go ahead and deposit this stuff into my item box. I'm going to be keeping my inventory relatively empty because we're going to be picking up a lot more items in this area, and there's not really a whole lot that we need to be using at the moment. So I think for now I'll just stick with my shotgun. And at this point, it's a pretty good place to stop before we go ahead and explore more of the residence. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I also hope that you will join me next time.